What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Ketchup Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. I am your host, Sean Little. We're back in the studio.
Back in the stew.
Big Nick the Quick is in here,
What's
of
going
course.
on?
Man, so I'm just happy to be back in here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Anybody that's watching, I know we're competing with the Celtics.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to catch us later. But my father passed away earlier this month.
Yeah.
So it's been a rough month. So I'm glad to get back in the swing of things.
Definitely, man.
The family is gone. Everyone came out to show love, show support. So I appreciate that once again.
Yeah, man,
and
rest in peace to your pops, man. You know, he's been on the show a few times.
Absolutely,
Anybody who's
man.
been listening for a while definitely knows about him and his love for LeBron and all that. So, yeah, man. Good to see you back, though, man. Good to see you, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. And I'm looking forward to talking some shit. I'm dropping my phone, everything.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, and
Yes,
I'm excited to talk. We're gonna talk NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
We already know what time it is there.
Yeah, we missed the first
best
round
time
of
of
the
the year.
playoffs. We missed kind of the end of the season, so a lot has happened.
Man, we missed a lot of
stuff. But you know what? We're kind of at the spot in the playoffs where I think is like the best part right now, right? Those final four on each side, right? So I think you got the matchups, especially in the East. Some of those Eastern Conference first round matchups were tough to watch. You know what I mean? I don't know how much more Orlando Magic I can watch in the playoffs. Shout out DJ Augustine. But happy we're at this point now.
That's kind of how it always is in the first round, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk NBA playoffs. We're going to talk the Bears draft, and that should take us deep.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do some cap or no cap, and that's always entertainment, pure entertainment, always. Since you brought that up, I was thinking that before we even hopped on was the first round of the playoffs is always – I don't even need to really watch it.
It's hit or miss.
There
was some good series out west. You had Utah and San Antonio.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall you don't really need to watch it.
But before we get into it, what else has been good?
Man, not too much, man. You know,
everything is rocking.
Same old. I just got back from Detroit the other day. Shout out Detroit.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah.
Any comments?
So I was staying
Detroit,
Hey,
man.
shout out if we got anybody from Detroit, man. We rock with all over. But, yeah, so I was staying out in the suburbs. And I was staying in like a nice suburb in Detroit. It was for a work thing. And then the last day I had some time. You know me, I like to see cities, man. Like when I travel, I want to see the city.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Don't take me to the tourist area. Like I'll do that. That's all fine and dandy. But like I want to see where the people live. You know what I mean? That's why I love New Orleans because one second you're in the tourist area, next second you're where the people live. So I like cities like that. So I drove through Detroit on the last day. I drove through the east side of Detroit. And man, that's a tough city, man.
It's barren out there.
That's a rough part of town.
You got to tell them that story you told me about the whip.
It was just the whole thing was like surreal. It was like out of a movie set. You know what I mean? Like it was dark. It was abandoned. You know, you'd have one house where people live in next to four houses where people don't live in. Grass growing out the middle of the street. Like I'm not even bullshitting. Like it looked like Call of Duty Modern Warfare type shit.
You said it looked like a map, like a game map?
Yeah, it looked like a game map. Like that shit looked like the Battle of Winterfell. Okay. But, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Detroit though. And then like at one point I'm driving down this street and there's like it's like a 2016 or 2017 like Sebring or something, you know, like a new car. And it's just on jacks with no tires on it. The hood popped and the trunk popped out. But you know how cars are like parked along the street? So if all the cars are parked along the street,
the trunk is popped.
So cars are parked along the street. This car is just like this.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about it probably been there for a couple weeks type shit. And like nobody bothered to move it. But it's not like it was an old abandoned car. But then you saw that too. Like it was crazy, man. I'm not even trying. I wish I had taken some pictures because it was just
it was just rough out there.
Yeah, it was real rough. And then you could tell like people still lived out there too. So it was just like, but then I went to other parts where it looked more or less like, you know, like a regular city, you know, like whatever. There were some boarded up houses. But the east side, I don't know. Maybe I just picked the right section to go through. But man, I've never seen nothing like that before in my life. So shout out Detroit, man. If you make it out there, you can make it out anywhere. East side.
Forget that New York
East
saying.
side. Now forget anywhere else, bro.
I've never make it in Detroit.
I ain't seen nothing like that before. I'm trying to tell you, man. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But then we went downtown and
Downtown's all right.
I saw have you seen it since they built the Pistons arena?
That's the new joint.
Yeah,
no,
the Little Caesars joint. It's really nice. So they have like a whole sectioned off part of downtown, and it's almost like the arena's kind of lowered into like a pit, and there's like a whole little area there with nice townhouses around it. Like, it looked like it'd be a lot of fun to go see a game there.
Okay.
Like, we might have to get out there and check it out, the Little Caesars arena.
Word. I've been to Detroit to catch a couple events, and
yeah.
downtown is all right.
Yeah, Comerica's right there too. Yeah.
Ford Field's right there. All their shit's right right next to each other.
And I mean, I don't want to like. It's one of those things where people will be like, "Oh yeah, the downtown of Detroit's nice," but it's like, you've been in Chicago, you've been in New York, you've been in like big cities. It's like, yeah, it's nice for like that, you know what I'm saying? Right. But it doesn't touch like a real downtown. Facts. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Yeah, it's like a nice little downtown.
Hey man, I'm glad. Downtown Evanston. At least you say you got to see the real shit.
Yeah, and again, man, like that's when I travel, I want to see the shit. I want to see the city. I don't want to see what you project to me as the city. I want to see.
You don't want to see the Instagram.
I don't want to see the Instagram city. I don't need to see the bean. You know what I mean? Like I want to see the city. And I think again, that's where you find the good food. That's where you find the good spots. And if you're gonna travel, you gotta travel.
Yes. Speaking of good food,
yeah.
I'm on a juice cleanse. Real good juice cleanse. This is day 2. It's 5 smoothies or a smoothie and 5 juices a day.
Yeah.
And that's all you can have each day.
Can you have water?
You can have water. Okay. Just like, they said, I mean, essentially the guy was like, you can have liquid, but if you don't run a rock with the liquid, then just stay off the coffee. Juice, just do the juice, just do the water, right? So I'm on day 2, and I feel...
Oh, no coffee.
No coffee, no, none of that. I think that some of the smoothies have a little caffeine in them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it hasn't been as rough as I thought, but day 3 might be kind of ugly.
Yeah.
This is day 2 right now. What is it, 6 o'clock? So we'll see.
Yeah, I've heard that people starts to get tough on like that 3 to 4 type range when you really first you're excited. Once the excitement wears off, you're like, yo, I need something to eat.
You know what? You know what that I've noticed is like any type of like little stressful situation, I'm really irritable.
Right.
Like, cause I want to eat if I get stressed out. I mean, I'm not even fucking eating. Like,
right.
Man, like, you know what I'm saying?
I bet you it's tough to like be up at night too, because you want to like grab a snack or some shit like that. Like,
honestly, you don't even realize how many times you just kind of go nibble on shit.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, you walk by the fridge a little like that.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
exactly.
Right. So no drinking, obviously. So nothing but that.
Just juice, bro. Juice. And I'm gonna see how I feel. I'll report back, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these playoffs. Really quick before we get into what we want to talk about, which is the Bucks Celtics, which are about to tip off game 2 right now, and then Golden State Houston. Really quick, and I don't want to harp on it, but a couple things I picked out of round 1. Things that I knew already, but these are like super confirmations. Rudy Gobert is one of the softest humans on the planet.
Yeah.
This is not even up for discussion. Montrez was banging him not Montrez. Capella was banging him all around like he wasn't even there.
He wanted no parts of that.
Every game I saw that. He was just killing him down there like, I'm like, yo.
A Swiss dude versus a French dude. Who would have thought the Swiss dude comes out on top?
Right, and I mean, no, they're both soft.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But Gobert's going for, almost 3 blocks a game.
Right,
like,
he's Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
He's so soft.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And second, obviously that whole Russ Dame shit was awesome.
Crazy.
I never seen nothing like that.
Crazy. Dame Lillard closeout game, crazy.
Yeah, it's so wild, bro, because I'm thinking if they get back to OKC,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Of course.
Because I think OKC wins, and then anything can happen in 7. And then to go from that to I actually woke my girl up. She was sleeping next to me. I'm like, you should watch this. Yeah. She's like, whatever. And then she looked up, watched it. He buried that shit from 38?
Yeah, I was in the hotel room and I jumped up. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, and also because you knew obviously he was taking that shot. He dribbled it out, and then it was a step back. You know what I mean? From 37 feet out, and he drilled it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And like we'll talk about it a little bit because that's one of the cap or no cap things about Dame. But I just feel like he knew more than anybody that like he needed that moment. He needed that series. you don't really get that opportunity in round one that often where you're going up against Russ and Paul George and big name marquee series, where a lot of people, even though you were the favored team, quote unquote, a lot of people expected OKC to win. I think he's felt disrespected for a long time about his status in the league overall. And he's like, yo, I've been here. I've been doing this. I've been putting up these numbers. I have career year after career year, but you guys pretty much write us off. And part of it's their fault because, obviously they got swept by the Pelicans last year. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what happens. But I feel like he needed that.
He needed to get out of the first round.
It was his moment, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was the moment. No matter what happens, that was his moment. You know what I mean?
Happy for Dame.
Very happy for Dame.
Because I've hated on Dame in the past with efficiency, and I just think some of his shot selection is sus. But he did his thing. I have no.
He doesn't play D's. That's my biggest issue. He's like a
Yeah, she's a
turnstile.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. He's his production on the O for that team it's just kind of like a James Harden situation. He can't go out there and play crazy D either.
Yeah, no, he needs to. Yeah.
But all right, let's jump over to. You want to talk Warriors Rockets first or Bucks Celtics?
It doesn't matter. Let's get Warriors Rockets out of the way.
Okay, let's do that. Say less. Let's go. Game 1 was awesome. Very entertaining from multiple angles.
Definitely.
Officiating,
commentary,
Curry's antics, everything, bro.
Have you ever heard a crew be that openly critical of the refereeing in a game before? Like, I mean, they were the second half. It's all they talked about.
You don't typically see it.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Usually someone's in their ear like, all right, guys, come on, but like they just
someone's in that person's ear from the league office.
Yeah,
hey,
that's enough.
Y'all want this new? Y'all want this deal? Like,
yeah. So I thought that was crazy, but yeah, the game overall was just. It was crazy, man. That's what you wanted from game 1, other than the fact that the Warriors won.
Where are you at on the officiating? Because I got some thoughts on it.
I come at it from multiple angles. I do believe in consistency, and it is there was some questionable shit there. Some of the things that they were complaining about was kind of like, come on. But as far as the whole landing zone and all that, like, I think that does need to be cleared up. I don't think we're at like an NFL level officiating crisis, but I do think it's also at the same time, I think it's funny that the person complaining about not getting calls is James Harden, who is the biggest beneficiary of getting calls in the modern NBA, hands down. He gets to the line, 12 times a game. So I just think that it's kind of it's funny that it's him now, and he's kind of the one. Like, what the fuck? The Chris Paul thing. I mean, Chris Paul's always had an issue with refs. This is nothing new.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't know if there's a ref that he gets along with.
What's up with Chris Paul, bro?
He's just an ornery guy, man. That's just who he is, man. He's just someone you would not want to play ball with.
Act like that, bro.
He's someone you wouldn't want to be on your team with. I mean, you'd want to be on the team with him because he's great.
Yeah.
But he's just not like a pleasant dude, man. Like, going back to Wake Forest, he hit somebody in the nuts.
Yeah, he's always
what I mean?
Like a.
He's just agitated. I think him getting thrown out, like, he obviously said some shit. You know what I mean? And again, he doesn't have a good rep with the refs, but he brought that culture. He had that same culture in the Clippers. Remember the Clippers when they were on? Nobody complained more than the Clippers.
Yeah.
Nobody complained about the refs more than the Clippers. So I think it's just who he is. Love him or hate him, man, that's who he is. And maybe that's part of his leadership where he's like, all right, I'll take all this. You know what I mean? I'll be the bad guy, instead of you guys. Who knows? But he's always been that way.
I'm going to kind of speak out of both sides of my mouth here because I think it's a very interesting situation, right? So Harden in the first half pulls up his regular style. If he kicks his feet out a little bit or whatever he does, but that's how he shoots the rock. Like, always. It's a pure stroke, right? Yeah. And Clay ran into his legs multiple times. Mm-hmm. Didn't get any calls, right? Fast forward to the second half. He exaggerates that last jumper with Draymond because he feels like he needs to do something because he wasn't getting any of the calls, right? Yeah. But so this is me speaking on both sides of my mouth. I think he just has to stay consistent and pull. He can't try to draw fouls. He's almost worrying about drawing fouls than knocking down the jump shot.
Right.
Like, he was concentrating on like flailing his legs.
How do I get a call?
Instead of knocking down the three-pointer, that's what he should have been locked in on. That's the only issue with it. My issue is that when he starts to exaggerate and do things like that, then the refs are kind of seeing that. Even if
he's even
contact,
less likely to get a call. Right?
Even if it was a foul, when you start doing that, it clouds their mind a little bit more than what it should have done. What should have happened, in my opinion, was the first time, because he's even keel on the floor. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really get riled up.
Right.
The first time Clay ran into his legs, he's supposed to say something like, yo. Second time, he's supposed to get a tech off top.
Right.
Like, yo, listen, this dude is running through my legs. I can't land. Like, stop all this bullshit right now and make sure you're looking at this. Because then the third time, 100% he gets the foul.
Yeah.
He's kind of, D'Antoni was in people's ear, and I get
and Chris Paul.
But, yeah, and Chris Paul was in his ear too. But I feel like if James would have hopped up and been like, yo, listen, bro, like, they're running me over, a call would have came down the line, and that's it didn't really happen.
And that's just not him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, it takes. You've seen him go off like in his own way, but it takes a lot for him to get riled up. That's just who he is. That's his whole demeanor. He has his own way of going about things. But again, you got to be consistent with it. If all year you've been giving him those calls, then I guess he's expecting those calls come playoffs, right? And the refs might be looking at it from a different perspective, like you said. Man, the more he complains about it. You know what I mean? We're obviously going to call things a little bit tighter in the playoffs. We might not get away with some of that shit or whatever it might be. But the more he complains about, the less likely he is to get those calls in game 2, for sure.
Absolutely.
So,
right.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they officiate game 2. I understand they brought in Scott Foster, who has an issue with the Rockets, right?
Yeah.
But I think he's like the league's highest rated referee, though.
He's going to be in the finals.
It's a finals crew. They're giving them a finals crew.
They're giving them a finals crew, right? But I also read that they assigned the refs like game 1 and game 2 before. So before all this even happened, Scott Foster was going to ref game 2. Anyway. Yeah. Scott Foster, like you said, is highly regarded.
Yeah.
He will be in the finals. And on the flip side, the Rockets have lost the last 6 games he's officiated for them. So it's going to be interesting.
Gambling tip of the week.
So that's what I was thinking is
up,
what I'm thinking is they're just gonna call shit extremely tight.
Yeah.
On both ends.
Exactly.
I just think that's how isn't that how it always goes?
I would imagine that like a referee who's highly graded probably wouldn't be popular with the Rockets because again they rely on getting a lot of foul calls. And you might be able to James Harden might be able to pull some of those tricks on some of the the lesser experienced referees, the ones who aren't as good. Scott Foster's like, no, I'm not going for this tonight. You know what I mean? If you want to get to the line, get fouled. You know what I mean? I guess
it could go that way.
So that's probably why. Because again, it's not like they have an issue with him and he's lowly rated. He's highly rated and they have an issue with him. So obviously he knows what he's doing, and he probably lets them get away with a little bit less. You know what I mean?
He's one of those. I don't know Scotty like that, but he's probably just he doesn't deal with the flopping shit.
Yeah, I don't want it. I'm not dealing with
I'm
this.
not going with it.
I'm not here for that.
So but what do you think is a more likely situation? That the refs link up before the game and they're like, call it super tight? Or if you see any type of flopping, swallow the whistle?
I think the league probably talked to him before this game because obviously it's gotten a lot of attention and the officiating is going to get a ton of attention in this game from the get-go.
Yeah.
So call it tight. Hey, guys, we're going to call it tight. We have to enforce the landing zone thing because we got to be consistent. But at the same time, don't fall for that flopping. You know what I mean? Make sure you actually see contact. But call it fair on both sides.
What I was thinking when I saw the over-under and after all this shit went down, it was 220.5.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should probably take the over on that.
Yeah.
Number. Like, that's probably the play.
Yeah. I'm going to let it go.
I might hop on that.
Yeah.
220.5.
Take the Warriors money line. It's probably not good. You're probably not getting any
the thing about that 220.5 is that if the Warriors get crazy, so it's a runaway though.
Yeah. If either team gets crazy, it's a runaway.
You know what? But no, it's not going to be a runaway in Oracle. But on that for the Rockets side,
I mean, is that Oracle mystique still there like that? I don't.
When I say Oracle, I mean Golden State at home. I mean Oracle gets loud, whatever, but.
The Rockets missed a lot of threes in game 1.
They did.
A lot of threes in game 1 that they wouldn't miss.
What were James and Gordon like?
Not good.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like they hit a 3 until Gerald Green hit that late 3. It was like, oh, that's the first time I've hit a 3 in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, nobody was hitting threes on their squad. And that was kind of my point about this game is like, hey, Houston played pretty bad. Neither team played great, but Houston did not play well, especially, for with their bread and butter, right? They weren't hitting threes and they weren't getting calls. So if one of those two things goes their way in game 2, you could be looking at a different game. Steph didn't play great either, but I'm saying, like, you can't expect Houston to go that cold again from three-point land.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the biggest thing I saw there. I'm like, they're getting the looks that they want. They're just not hitting them. Maybe you can. I guess Game 7 last year proves that you can go cold, but yeah.
Golden State -5.
That's what it is?
Yeah, that's the number. -5 and 220.5. It was last I saw it. That's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's tough.
That's a lot of stay away going on over there.
That's tough.
What's the money line?
If it's -5, I don't know it off top. I'd have to guess at least minus 185, 200. Right? Maybe even a little more. I know you wanted to talk about Durant.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a tear since Game 3 of that Celtics series, and it's funny,
the
like
Clippers, yeah.
Clippers series. I think when we look back at Kevin Durant's career, like when it's all said and done, it's almost like, in his mind, I feel like these Warrior years, this might be some hot take shit, but in his mind, these Warriors years have validated him because he's gotten 2 championships out of it, at least.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it, as an individual player, like, it's almost diminished him so much that when he goes on this tear, it's like people are like surprised. Or not surprised, but it's like, oh my God, have you seen Kevin Durant? Like, but it's like, this is Kevin Durant.
He's been this guy.
He's been this guy before in his career. You know what I mean? He's done it before in a Warriors uniform. Now, again, the whole Warriors thing, it kind of, I don't know. I just think being on this team, and this is why I think he's probably going to leave. Being on this team, it doesn't help his individual legacy really at all. You know what I mean? He's the second most popular player on his team. He's the second most important player on his team. It's not his team. You know what I mean? He's kind of an outsider. And I feel like it's kind of hurt how people look at him in the league. Yeah, remember, it was hands down always Kevin Durant's the second best player in the league. You can't tell me anything. It goes LeBron, KD, and then we can talk about everybody else. And every year it's KD's the third best player. Oh, he's the fourth best player. Oh, you seen Kawhi? Oh, man, Kawhi. Oh, you seen Giannis? Oh, Giannis. And it's like KD's like, yo,
next thing you know,
I'm over here 50, 40, 90 every year, putting up 27 a game on a team where there's multiple other options. You know what I mean? So I'm like getting 27 within rhythm. What I mean?
That works against him, though.
It does, yeah. So
with all the other players.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what he does over there. It's kind of just like whatever. But then it's like people are like, oh, look at this tear. Like, well, Kevin Durant, is this it? Is he arriving? Is he angry? Like, no, he's fucking Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? He's gonna have games like the other game. He's gonna have games like the end of that Clippers series. He's Kevin Durant. I just feel like people, just the narrative around him is very interesting, and I don't think his personality does anything to help it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say on that. We know what he did.
Yeah.
And I think it helps him, his legacy, that when he did go to Golden State, he got 2 finals MVPs. He won both of those.
Sure.
So that helps. But, yeah, I mean, he's a monster. He's absolutely, I think unstoppable gets thrown around a little bit.
Yeah.
I throw it around quite a bit as well. He is absolutely unstoppable on the offensive end.
There's not a hole in his game offensively.
He's too big. You can't do anything with him. So yes, he's a complete animal.
I think he actually is a 0-hole offensive player.
Yeah, he goes to the rack.
He's
mid-range,
an excellent shooter.
Shoots the 3.
He can handle the ball. He can pass. Yeah.
Free throws there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, some of these dudes that are like offensive juggernauts can't shoot free throws.
Yeah.
LeBron, Russ, whoever. Dame can shoot the free throw.
I don't know what's up with Russ. I shot like 48%.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying though. It's just kind of like, it's just when you start. It's just we're now so quick to put people in front of KD, and like I do it too, and it's just I feel like that's a direct symptom of this Warriors.
Yeah.
Shit. Yep. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. 35.
KD Trey.
Bring up that Nick Wright tweet real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I might be able to get it real quick. Nick Wright always good for a tweet, bro. I know a lot of people don't like Nick. I kind of rock with Nick. I'm not gonna flex. I think he's got some interesting takes, and he's pretty knowledgeable about his shit.
Let's see if I can get it. All those Fox guys are funny to me. All right, so I got it. So today, Nick Wright tweeted, yep. Steph is a transcendent talent who is the greatest and most important warrior ever, but the rope we give him is insane. He was having a terrible game one, bumps Harden out of bounds, and then taunts Harden repeatedly. We just shrug it off.
Facts.
It's the Steph Curry hate beginning.
I mean, that's facts.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, though?
That Steph gets that rope?
Yeah.
Because he's...
And I don't know about what rope, but I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Why do you think he gets that benefit of the doubt? Because he's a good guy?
Because he's a good guy. He's had an organic rise. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys have been that dude since they were in high school and have always been a number one player, and it's you just kind of grown up with them. Where it was Steph, it's we knew him at Davidson, but nobody expected this team to ever become this good. You know, it's a likable story. He's a popular guy. He's got the wife that everybody loves, and the picture perfect family, and he doesn't ruffle any feathers. Unless when you watch Steph, he talks more shit than anybody.
Yo, Steph talks a lot of shit.
Consistently taunts the crowd. Consistently taunts other teammates. Is always on some shit like this. Steph is always talking shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't. Remember when Chris Paul hit him with the?
Yes, Chris Paul.
Hit Chris Paul with the little shimmy. So I mean, yeah, Steph talks a lot of shit, but I think he's able to project a certain image, man. You know what I mean? And I think it's just he's like the anti-LeBron.
But is Nick Wright saying that what type of leeway, what all the rope that he gets? What does he expect people to do? Hammer him? Because they won game one. You know what I'm saying? He had a bad game, but they won. He had a big three at the end of the game.
Yeah, he did his thing.
So, what exactly? What did he expect to happen, or what does he think should be happening?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wants Steph to get torn down after a game one win and after a couple of MVPs and things like that. That's why I thought it was kind of hot. But
now that you say torn down, it's completely tied to how you act.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah. I now that you say that, and I just thought about it, it's completely tied down to how you portray yourself in post-game press conferences, in the media, and in your personal life.
Right.
He doesn't get torn down because everyone knows he's a good guy and he's fun-loving and he has a fun game. That's why he doesn't get torn down.
He's a wholesome guy.
Kevin Durant gets torn down because of what he did, or LeBron gets torn down because of.
Hold on. Let me give you this real quick. Kevin Durant had all that going for him. Kevin Durant did not like being the good guy. Kevin Durant purposely changed his own image. He purposely changed his own image. In OKC, when he first came up,
hold on.
I feel he fought hard against the Kevin Durant narrative of him being a good guy.
No.
I felt like he really...
Or did he get beat up so bad when he left that he turned into...
Before that, the last year in OKC.
When he was leaving, though.
He was super surly all the time. I'm sick of being the good guy. He would say that.
Yeah, he's I'm tired of being number two.
Yeah, I'm sick of being the good guy. I want, I do this, I do that too. He wanted that image.
But I think it got worse whenever he started getting crushed.
Well, of course,
everywhere he went.
Of course.
Then it started getting way, way worse.
Yeah, of course.
Well, how many years are in between him winning MVP and then leaving? 2?
2.
Because then this all happened in a year. Then
yeah. I really do. Yeah, the whole "you the real MVP." Yeah, bro. I think because remember it's the same time that Russ really started turning on the media too. They got really pissed off during the KD's last year. I think about all the coverage about it, and they started turning Go back and look at some of those shits.
Some of that.
Yeah, the whole Russ where he's that whole thing that KD was on the team during that.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? That was during. Yeah, they started really. The two of them started going hard at the media.
Yeah. But, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think now that you say torn down, I don't know why that sparked it for me, but I think that's purely from how they act in post-game press conferences.
Sure.
Because he never acts like that. Steph is always very low-key, you know what I'm saying? Very good guy, smile on his face type thing. And he doesn't have anything not to smile about. They win tons of ball games every
he's
year.
living
They
a great
win a
life.
championship. He's living a great life.
Living a new
he
contract.
Just signed for $40 million per.
He's doing fine.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing great.
So yeah, I think that's why he gets that extra rope because he's a good dude. That's
yeah,
how it works.
As much rope as he gets is how much rope LeBron doesn't get, though. Like, you could say that Steph deserves to get some flack as much as you can say that LeBron doesn't deserve to get as much as he does.
For sure.
Which is not a hot take at all. Like, it's clear. Like, the LeBron hate, I was thinking about it. Like, the LeBron hate this year on this Lakers situation, and I gave it to him right here. I said, hey, look, he tore apart that team with the whole trade thing. But the whole, like, yo, we got to go at his legacy because they're not in the playoffs and this, that, and the third. The man made 8 straight NBA finals. I don't want to talk about anything. Like, he was tired, bro. He was like, you know what, man, I'm
Nah, he wasn't even tired.
But it just wasn't going to happen.
That team was shit.
He knew it was shit. He knew it was trash. He got there. He's like, this ain't it. If we don't, you think he cares? I don't think LeBron gives a fuck right now. I think LeBron is probably like, yo, I mean, I'd like to be playing, but
I've been saying that.
I'd like to be playing, but hey, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to take the summer off. 8 straight finals. Going the distance 8 times.
I've been saying that 100%.
So but I feel like the people that are like, yo, like this, he could never be Jordan now because of this. And like, it's just like people need to kill that noise on the whole LeBron hate in front. Because I mean, what more does the man need to do? LeBron could stop playing basketball right now. We're good.
For sure.
We're good. I've seen enough.
He's one of the top 3 players ever.
If not top 2.
Yeah. You could argue that for sure.
From front to end career?
Yeah. As long as the Jordan talk is dead.
It's dead.
As long as
it shouldn't have ever been alive.
Correct. So as long as that's all said and done and over with, then I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Who you got tonight, real quick? Who? Give me. I'll give you the 5. You still want Houston?
Oh man, Houston +5.
Yeah.
No, I'll take Golden State. I'll let the points. Yeah.
You know what? You know what it is? You just can't pick against those dudes at home. Yeah. I don't care what it is. Like, I just can't do it. I can't. I look and I'm like, this would be
it's a hard bet to make. Yeah.
Theoretically speaking, this would be a good spot to take the other team. But you're looking at it, you're like, man, I've seen this shit flip too much.
It's one of those in the morning when you lose, you're like, man, why'd I ever bet against Golden State?
How can I bet against Golden State at the crib? What an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, I'd have to take Golden State -5 too. Yeah. It should be very, 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 very interesting. Man.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right. I don't know. Let me check the score of this Bucks game real quick. What were your thoughts on that? The game 1 collapse. The Celtics are back. You know what's great about the playoffs and the NBA and the media? Legit, this shit flips from one game to another.
Right.
Dame doesn't hit that 3. Russell's back. We're going to OKC.
Dame choked again.
Dame choked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just game to game, bro.
Right.
So I got to keep that even keel where it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, let's see. Because the narrative now is experience matters. Milwaukee's not ready. And
which is kind of, I mean,
we'll see, right?
Yeah, but it is funny, man. It is like some game-to-game shit. Like on the drop of a dime, it'll completely change over, and it's like, yeah.
The Bucks win this game by 10 points.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Bucks are good.
Back. Giannis is the best player in the league.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
And that's why I said, though, I thought the Bucks, what was it? What did I have it at? +275 was disrespectful?
+250.
+250.
That is kind
of disrespectful. When I saw that, I was kind of like, wow. I mean, I understand the Celtics had a tough year and a lot of ups and downs, but +250?
Tight in the first 22.
I mean, they have a better roster. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They have more playoff experience. The +250 was kind of disrespectful. I would have thought that would be more in like the 175-ish range.
The second rank to win the title, I think. I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is, right?
But
like
+250. I mean, you got to look at the matchup.
Sounds like we should have put some money on. Sounds like we late.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight is 2020. You know, yeah.
My boy Al Horford went crazy.
Your boy.
Listen, bro.
So hey, everybody on Twitter, After
though.
Al was giving Giannis the business on the defensive end and legitimately a problem for Milwaukee offensively. Like they didn't know what to do with Al Horford. I tweeted Sean. I said, "Hey man, I bet you Chicago Flow still thinks that Al Horford is trash." Crickets.
Yeah, I didn't.
Crickets.
You want to know why I didn't say anything? Is because I've already addressed this. The slander I was giving Al Horford was unwarranted,
unjust.
He's a
winner. You need Al Horford's.
And Al Horford is a ball player.
He's a ball player.
He's
He's really good at basketball.
Luka Doncic is just a hooping guard.
Yeah.
Al Horford is just a hooping
big. Yeah. Like, what does he do? He does that.
He hoops, man.
Yeah, you throw him out there, and it's positive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. So I was wrong. I'll admit that. And I kind of knew I was wrong, but I just didn't like his game.
Yeah.
So I was hating on his game, and that was it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if the Celtics win this game and this shit fuck around be a sweep?
Right.
Is that more just – you think that's all experience related? Or Giannis just – they seem like they had figured Giannis out.
Yeah, I think that they have a good so, I mean, man, it's going against everything that I had said previously about the Celtics and Brad Stevens. I was killing them early on in the year, but they got some good coaching over there, man. I mean, they obviously figured out some way to stop him. I mean, again, I think you're not gonna hold him to 22 every game. Like, he's going to get off, right? But I think the Celtics have the right mix of players to throw at him. Like, that Horford factor is real. He can neutralize somewhat Giannis.
Yeah.
Better than a lot of guys can, because he'll go down there and play with him. And he's smart and he's crafty and he does those kind of things. And if those other guys aren't knocking down those shots that they've relied on them knocking down all year, then, yeah, the Celtics are talented. The Celtics can one-on-one them to death. That's something. You can't, this is the playoffs. Sometimes you got to play some hero ball. And the Celtics got a bunch of heroes that can go and do that.
And if Kyrie play like that.
Yeah. If Kyrie starts to go off, he's got a lot to prove. He's in contract year. You got some issues. So listen, I never said the Celtics when we were killing them. That's why I was so disappointing about them, because like on paper, it doesn't make sense. You can play any type of style you want to. So yeah, I mean, if they can put together 5 good games, yeah, it's gonna be over quick. I don't think they're going to win tonight, though.
Milwaukee's going to win tonight.
Yeah, I can't see the Milwaukee going down 0-2 and then having to go to the Garden.
Yeah, it's ugly.
The Boston Garden.
Yeah. I heard this take. I can't remember exactly who said it, but how much do you think this plays a factor? Milwaukee played Detroit, who never had a chance. Like, that was always going to be a blow-up series.
Right.
It was going to be a sweep, and it was a sweep, or at the max, go maybe 5 games. The Celtics played the Pacers. The Pacers been playing hard all year.
Yeah, they got there off grit,
and they just gave them a little more pushback than Detroit gave Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Did Milwaukee kind of just sleepwalk into that game one, like, oh, it's sweet, we're coming off a sweep, we're at home, and so they were a little more relaxed than they should have been?
No.
Or is it just
sometimes the team gets beat by the other team? I think one of the things that, like, I think it's almost disrespectful sometimes, the team that won, when we always try to find a reason why the other team lost. Like, oh, they didn't take them seriously.
It's like Kyrie went for 28-6.
They had a great game plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you watch the game, they were playing Giannis in a style that he did not like. He did not enjoy having Al Horford guard him.
He didn't.
That wasn't fun for him.
No.
He didn't like it, because it's not, again, Al Horford's not bigger than him. He's not necessarily stronger than him. He's smart. He's a smart, crafty player who knows things.
And you know what's interesting?
You don't like playing against those guys.
You know what's interesting about that point? I love that point. That's a good point. Especially in hoops, if you get a guy that you don't like to match up against, you can become disinterested. Not that he was disinterested, but it's a super grind all game.
Yeah.
Like when what was the example I just had in my head? Like when KD has a half sus match, like 30 is really, really easy. Like 30 is that he can get that walking around like it's no problem. no one can stop KD, but a couple other guys bother him a little bit. Maybe like Pat Beverly or like Clay can bother LeBron a little bit, or like Iguodala was bothering LeBron.
Exactly, yeah.
LeBron was still getting his done, but it was a grind.
It's a grind. Right.
So that can kind of get you out of your thing, and then you kind of deter and defer to other players more than you might. And Giannis hasn't been in a spot in the playoffs where he's been in a battle with someone where he's going at a dude like Al Horford all day long for a best out of 7 series.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he might
100%.
have a night where he sees Al or someone
sees
like
Al here and there.
And the next night he goes and plays whoever. You know what I mean?
Somebody trash. Enos
Kanter. Exactly.
And he's just going off. Dude, it was like I was telling you, man. I heard this interview and like they were asking these guys who are some of the toughest players to guard, and somebody was like Al Jefferson. And I'm like, why? They're like, because you got to come to work when you play against him because he's a crafty big man who knows all types of tricks.
Right.
And it's like it's not about the physicality. It's not about who can jump the highest. It's these guys who can just consistently beat you with some dumbass move. And it's like, man, Al just gave me 24. Right. You know what I mean? Like, where'd that come from? And he would just give me little hook shots and little fade, little this and that. Yeah, and it's just like, man, I don't want to guard this all night.
Yeah.
I'd rather guard someone who's all power because then you're just brute strength. You know what I mean?
End, he's giving me problems too.
He's giving me problems too. He's giving me the little hands, and he knows this and that, and he's crafty. I think Al Horford is that on D. You know, you don't want to have to play against him, man. Like, he's crafty. He's gonna go at you. He knows the angles. He's not scared. He's coached well. He's going to play within the game plan.
But isn't that experience, though?
It's experience,
yeah.
He won 2 national championships.
Yeah.
He's been doing this a long time.
Sid B in the chat, shout out Sid B, thinks Hayward's play as an edge as well. I mean, yeah, he's
back, yeah.
He's an all-star bench player.
And they figured out a way to use him.
They figured out a little role for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Because he could definitely go for 25. Like,
I think probably a big thing for the Celtics too is once the playoffs start, it might be a little bit easier for guys to accept their roles. The goal you can get much more of a tunnel vision.
Yeah, like, hey, we got to go try to get a chip.
Yeah, our agenda's over now. Like, hey, Jaylen Brown, you're trying to establish yourself. Tatum, you're trying to establish yourself. Like, no, we just need to go and win. Nobody wants to go home at this point because you don't want to deal with the whole summer of all that bullshit. So I think that a lot of those guys for the playoffs, they're able to kind of come together.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Man, it'd be interesting if Boston won, because then it's panic mode essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially, they'd have to go into Boston and 100% win Game 3.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That game's still in the first half. Let's switch over to the Bears NFL draft. NFL draft in general. I've never been less excited for an NFL draft in my entire life.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a single pick in round 1 or 2. I found out about Blaine Gabbert Jr., a.k.a. Daniel Jones.
Blaine Gabbert Jr.
Number 6 on Twitter. That's 100% the best. When I was thinking about it, I was like,
Blaine Gabbert 2.0?
This is Blaine Gabbert Jr.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was – but it was also a great feeling that –
Blaine Gabbert 2.0.
It was also a great feeling that I wasn't worried about it because essentially our first-round pick's Khalil Mack, and our team doesn't have many holes in it. So it was good not to be picking in the top 7. In other words.
It's not. You're not stressing out either.
Right.
You're not sitting there doing all this draft research and looking up shit and worried about who we're going to take, worried if we're going to tank the pick. I kind of watched it from it was funny to me to watch the draft. Like when the Daniel Jones pick happened, I started laughing. You know what I mean? I was just like, they would. Like they would. I don't understand how Dwayne. What more did you need to see from Dwayne Haskins?
Before we get to the Bears, listen. Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback.
Yeah, he might start some games.
He could be a good quarterback, and his career is still going to get crushed.
Yeah,
because he's fucked.
He needs to be. He needs to be elite.
He needs to be elite, bro.
I think the best
for that to be a good pick.
I think the best thing is I said they saw some Eli in him.
There you go. So yeah, I mean,
he had the dumb face just like Eli too.
He needs to be elite, kind of like Trubisky needs to be elite
100%.
for that to be a good pick for what they gave up and what happened. Who cares about the Giants? I don't even care. I just thought that was interesting because he's clearly not the best player on the board, even at the quarterback position in that spot. No chance.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Whatever.
But
Eli will be playing for another 3 years for them, so they'll be good.
I don't see how that can happen, but it's possible. The funny thing is,
I don't see how he could have played the last 2 years.
The funny thing is, Eli fuck around, come out, have a solid year, and then he'll play.
Yeah, and Gettleman will be up there like, oh, Eli, you really look like he got it back. Look at Tom Brady.
But no, he's not going to have a solid year because he sucked forever.
Yeah,
and that's all. You know how I feel about that. Going into the draft, we talk about this all the time, how healthy we stayed last year, how we need to add depth.
Yep, that was my number one thing.
We got rid of Jordan Howard, so we needed to add some depth at running back. Secondary, I talked about my feelings on Prince. He's getting older. He's not that good. He's solid.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see some depth at the corner and secondary, and that's kind of what we did. Drafted David Montgomery out of Iowa State.
David Montgomery.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Solid.
Solid running
Profound.
back. Solid running back name.
Solid running back name.
Yeah.
We were calling Mike Montgomery. We were like,
Mike Montgomery's good, man.
This is Dave Montgomery.
David Montgomery. Mike, David, John. It's all good.
Yeah. He was first team All-America, all Big 12.
Yeah.
I should say. I don't know much about him. I watched some highlights. He's a running back.
He's a running back, man. They said he's shifty, doesn't quite have burst. Bleacher Report gave him a pro comparison of Kareem Hunt, which I thought was very generous.
He was the most like Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I was reading.
Okay.
And that's what Nagy wants.
Yeah.
Nagy wants Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he does. Of course he does.
Remember we talked about him possibly coming?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was pressing everyone like, yo, please let me go get this.
Let me go get him. And no, McCaskies were like, no, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, we need this dude. And he's like, no, listen, bro. Like, we're not doing
we can't do it, man. We can't
know
go that far, man.
Montgomery, Riley Ridley, wide receiver, Georgia, Calvin Ridley's little brother.
Yeah. They compared him to Devontae Adams.
Riley Ridley,
he was a good player at Georgia.
He was a good player at Georgia.
Yeah.
And I watched a ton of SEC football just because of Bama, and those are the best teams, and they're always in the primetime slot on CBS. So, yeah, he made a couple plays where
So he's a possession receiver, good hands, not necessarily a burner at all, but not yards after the catch guy, but he'll go up and get it.
Fourth round.
Yeah, fourth round, whatever. Take a flyer on him. He catches 15 balls this year. We'll be happy.
Then the rest of these guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
Duke Shelley, but he's a corner. Kareth Wythe Jr., Florida Atlantic running back. Stephen Denmark, Valdosta State cornerback.
Valdosta State.
2 running backs, 2 corners, and a wideout.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
You were talking about just looking at running back tape in the Big 12, especially in the Big 12. The Big 12 is like a whole different.
It's a whole different animal. Nobody plays defense.
Yeah. So, and I mean, listen, the quarterbacks coming out of there have been crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Mahomes, Mayfield, Kyler Murray's coming out. We'll see how that works. But a running back coming out of there, that spread system, it's super wide open. I don't know much about Iowa State. I don't know how much they were spreading it out, but we'll see.
Let's see what happens, man.
Well, you mentioned something before we hopped on third round running back tape is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you're watching if you're watching the film on a running back or whatever, right? If it's not a high first round guy where he clearly stands out. You're just watching a running back get yards. And I can't really tell if he's an NFL back. I think it's hard to, evaluate running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain guys, okay, if you watch, Ezekiel Elliott in college, you're like, okay, that guy's special. You know what I mean? I understand where we're coming from here. But, watching the highlights on – I was just about to call him David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's just YouTube tapes chopped up.
Yeah, it's just a dude getting some yards. Oh, that's nice. You know what I mean? You're not really.
It's not like a quarterback or like a DB even. You can kind of see. It's like a guy in the open
especially if
field.
a dude's not a freak athlete. You know what I mean? It's hard to.
Yeah,
so that's why I take my hat off to scouts. I don't know how you could scout offensive guards. You know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean? How do you do that? You know, how do you scout a center? Like, I guess you're looking to see who's not getting trucked on every play. That's a good place to start. But, how do you go from there? Like, how do you – I think that shit is crazy.
But he got that Kareem Hunt comparison. His 40's like a 4.63.
Yeah.
Hunt's was similar when he was coming out. So he kind of got that comparison from that as well. But –
that's fine, man.
It's interesting.
Running backs just gotta find a hole and be able to get through it and make a move.
I will say I think we took. I'm gonna put this on wax because I'm also finishing up an article on this too. Is that I think we took Jordan Howard for granted a little bit. I understand he didn't fit in the offense and Nagy didn't like him, and I also think the good running back as a dime a dozen is overplayed as well.
Well,
all the top running backs in the league are all first-round picks.
The top ones, the really good ones you're winning ball games because of.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I don't think Jordan Howard is that.
No, he's not. No,
Jordan Howard is in the class. Howard is in the class of the David Montgomerys of the world. If I told you that David Montgomery rushed for 1,100 yards next year, would you be like, "Oh my God"?
No, but. It's a tough spot. I mean,
if I told you he had like 15 touchdowns, you'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Jordan Howard
sign
was
me
going to
up.
cost us a couple $1 million.
Yeah,
this guy is not.
This guy's not.
So,
and you have him for a couple more years, and you go get another one.
I still think he's. I still think Montgomery's
not in this offense. I mean, if we're the Dallas Cowboys, you go get me someone who can produce and carry the ball 300 plus times, but not in this offense.
I fucking love our offense.
Yeah, it's flexible.
Yeah, real quick.
The best part.
Pre-draft analysis on David Montgomery. Montgomery is a big, shifty runner who can sift through the traffic running between the tackles. He has good balance, runs with outstanding determination, catches the ball well, and is a solid pass blocker.
Yeah, fine.
Cool. Isn't that what everyone's running back thing is going to say?
All things you want, yeah.
That's a solid runner. Like he's
shifty,
like a solid running
doesn't
back.
have burst, but he's good vision. Like, yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what the film shows me. Great. It's the same thing it tells me about every other mid-round running back, unless they're like a specialty guy.
One thing I did when I was looking up some stuff on this is one thing I didn't realize is the Bears averaged 3.8 yards a carry in 2018 rushing. And that was like 27th or 28th in the league.
Yeah, one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL.
Yeah, it was like one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, and it was worse with Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he can't catch the ball at the backfield. So teams will just, if he's in there, what the deal is.
It was
if he's in there, he's getting the ball.
It was an ISO.
Yeah.
Hopefully Tariq stays. Tariq's going to get so many touches next year. I just hope he stays upright.
Right.
He's pretty good at not getting blown
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I don't think he's going to get some crazy amount of touches where you feel like he's going to get hurt.
He's going to get a lot of touches.
They're going to mix it up. We have 3 backs on the roster right now. So, I mean, I think those other 2 guys, they have to do something. So, what's the other guy's name? We got another Mike Davis, another regular. Where are we getting these regular-ass name dudes? Mike Davis, David Montgomery, all these guys. I mean, they're going to get the ball, too. I mean, I don't think Cohen's not going to be used like your traditional running back in the NFL.
Not at all.
Not in the least bit.
Not at all.
So, I'm good with it.
Bears are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Put it out there now. Right. And we need a kicker.
Robbie Gould.
He's demanding a trade. He on his AB.
Yeah.
He on his AB. Robbie Gould on his AB. He said he want out.
AB.
Did anything come up about that? Why he wants to go?
He wants to closer back home.
Which is here?
Yeah.
His kids go to school here and stuff, all that. So what's he trying to say? He trying to muscle his way to Chicago? That would be huge.
Huge flex.
That'd be huge for us.
I don't know. He disrespected the matriarch, though, man. He might have to.
We don't have any picks to give up anyway, though.
Kiss the ring.
What could we even give them?
Well, if he wants to leave, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
They franchise tagged him, right? And he's just not going to sign it.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. How could we get him? I want him.
I don't know. I don't even want to trade more picks. I don't think we have too
many
left.
We don't have any picks left. We traded 3 picks to get Montgomery.
We'll give you a 7.
We traded like a 4, a 5, or our slot and the 3, a 4, a 5,
we
and
did?
a 4. Yeah. We traded like three picks and then got back a 6.
Ryan Pace be gambling that future, boy.
Well, yeah, that's. We already talked about this. He knows he's. You get hired
GM
to
windows,
get fired, bro.
3 to 4 years.
He's in there trying to make a.
Yeah.
He's gonna leave the next GM in shambles, which is probably If you're going to try to win a title, go try to get it, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's switch to cap or no cap before we get up out of here.
Yeah.
The fun segment. Shout out Sid B. It's the homie. You got the questions?
Yep. All right, a little bit of cap or no cap. So you guys don't know. I'm going to throw out a statement. Ask Sean if it's cap or no cap, which is pretty much bullshit or facts.
Yeah.
More or less.
Cap is false.
Yeah.
No cap is true.
True statements. Let's get it. All right. So this is the one that we kind of came up with this on, but Tim Anderson is the best ball player in the city right now over El Mago. Tim Anderson, TA7, bat flipping.
That's cap because El Mago's the best baseball player in the league, in my opinion. So I can't give him that. But Tim Anderson right now is 1A.
He's in 375.
1B. He's batting 375. He's talking shit. I rock with him.
I love
what he's doing.
the bat flipping. I love the talking shit. You know what I mean? I like his whole swag. I love it.
I love it.
You know how I feel about the baseball rules. You know how I feel about the respect for the
I
game
should make
bullshit.
a El Mago Tim Anderson t-shirt.
You should.
That should be hard.
Hey, wow.
That's what I need to
Throw
do.
the rules out the window.
Yes.
Both of them do.
Those dudes are the
those don't
shit.
give a fuck. Yeah, so.
What's
so
the background on TA?
I don't know, but I was looking on his Instagram, and then I found his mom's Instagram, and apparently his mom's like a club promoter down south. Like, she got photos with Yo Gotti. She got photos with Boozy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Whatever it is, shout out Tim Anderson.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
But he's been on the team for a couple of years. He's a highly graded prospect coming out. I think he's struggled the last few years offensively, and he's just blowing up this year and put it all together. But he's a young dude, man. Yeah. The rebuild is looking nice.
Yeah, y'all all right.
The rebuild is looking nice, man.
Yeah,
thank you for Eloy.
Yeah.
Have fun with my man, what's his name? Quintana.
Yeah.
We'll
talk about the Cubs another day.
Nah.
But yeah, I would give it to TA. The answer is cap because Javi Baez is an
Javi Baez is the best.
He's so much fun to watch. I love his attitude, man. Javi's my favorite player, bar none. It's not even close.
All right.
But yeah, Tim Anderson's doing his thing, and I hope he continues to do his thing on the South Side, man.
So I saw this. This was tweeted out by Bill Simmons the other day. Dame Lillard is the fourth best guard of the decade. Curry, Harden, Paul, Dame, then Russ.
Listen,
that's the recency shit
this
right
is
there.
Where I'm. This is where I'm at on the whole Dame thing. Right, Dame is doing his thing. Dame has been hooping. He's not better than Russell Westbrook for me.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook had a terrible shooting year. There's no denying that.
I think he's had a few.
Yeah.
Statistically, he's the worst high-volume three-point shooter in NBA history.
Yeah. Yes. I was talking about, I guess I was talking about overall shooting.
Career,
he
31%.
He should stop shooting. He needs to take the three out of his game.
Out of his game completely?
It's just not in his game. Go facilitate. We know you're a good passer. That's back-to-back times in the league. Back-to-back years in the league. You've led the league in assists. In the first round, you averaged 10.5 assists. Like, you can dish the rock. Remove the three-pointer out of your game, and get it to Paul George.
Did you hear what he said?
He
was like, when they were like, they said that I was selfish, so I led the league in assists. They said I can't shoot, so now I'm going to get a jumper. So something along those lines. Yeah, that's what he said in his exit interview.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back and shot
think Russ is shooting threes right now?
Maybe, probably.
Yeah, he might be.
He might be taking a little rest.
What if Russ came back and shot 45%?
Be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
that's
but if someone
cap.
can do it, it's him. I don't know. It's not straight cap because I don't think a lot of people agree with me.
Okay.
For me, it's cap because I don't think over the last decade he's been better than Russ.
This decade, which I guess is over the last decade. Yeah, 2010, 2019.
He hasn't been better than he hasn't been better than Russ over the decade. If you can actually argue that this is the first time he's had a better year than Russ in their whole career, could you not?
I don't know. It goes back to my point. If you go back and look at Dame's numbers, Dame has been putting up numbers for a while. It's just the team. They've always had the same rep. They don't guard anybody.
Yeah, and
the two guard system. This is the first time
Russ
has
got or Dame's got out of the first round.
Yeah.
Russ hasn't got out of the first round since KD left.
Yeah.
I understand that. But, I mean, okay, so he just got out of the first round. Now he's just all of a sudden better than Russ. I don't think he's a better ball player than Russ.
Yeah.
I just can't do that.
Right.
So, read the list one more time.
Pull it back up. It was Curry, Harden, Paul, Dame, Russ.
So, PGs or guard.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what other two guard would you put up there? D Wade.
I was going to say Wade, but
maybe last decade.
Maybe the 2000s.
I guess D Wade for the first half of the decade.
Yeah.
I guess and let's say over the last 5 years, cut the decade talk out. So we'll cut so we can respectfully take Dwayne Wade out of the equation.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's close. I just can't put. I think it's a personal thing. I just love Russ and I love his game, and I understand he should remove the three, and he shot it really, really poorly this year from 2, from 3, and the free throw line.
Yeah.
But
I thought you would have Russ above CP3. Like the fan in you might, but like realistic when you look at basketball.
Okay, listen. For people that don't know this about me, I say a lot of wild shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But deep down, I know it's wrong.
If you were the GM, you wouldn't necessarily make that choice.
If I had to go to the start of the decade and pick a point guard, Chris Paul's above those dudes, 100%. Right?
Yeah.
So, but
me and Kyle Orton, man. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't pick Kyle Orton over
fan in me is like, I
but
love
in my head,
Russ,
I would.
bro. That's my guy. So yeah, he's better than CP3.
Yeah.
Give me Russ.
Give me Russ.
But yeah.
Okay. So you do got CP over him.
Yeah. What about you? You with that list?
I'm going with Russ. I think the Russ hate has reached Russ is one of those guys where now we talk so much about what he doesn't do well that we forget a lot of things that he does do well. But I 100% agree he needs to stop shooting threes.
He needs to remove that shit out of his game.
He's still athletic enough to get to the cup when he wants and do other things, but the three he doesn't have a good eye for when to shoot threes, and he doesn't hit them.
And obviously, we know where the league is going and how much the league has changed. He didn't used to shoot that many threes.
Yeah, but he got here by not shooting threes.
Right, exactly.
So it's okay.
He can remove that from his game.
Dwayne Wade never decided to shoot threes.
Russ in transition is unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Him going to the cup, him dribble drive, pull up from 19.
Yeah,
he could adjust some of his game and be super more efficient, and we know what time it is.
All right, last one. Dwayne Haskins will have a better career than Kyler Murray, cap or no cap.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dwayne Haskins or Kyler Murray?
I'd pick Dwayne Haskins because I really think he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I think he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I think
he threw 50 touchdowns in the Big Ten last year.
I think he is the prototypical NFL quarterback. I hate to sound cliche and kind of repeat and regurgitate what a lot of people have been saying, but I think he moves in the pocket very well. And
he's just not going anywhere out the pocket.
Bro, these guys that are the elite boys are in the pocket, bro. Russell Wilson went from running around to being in the pocket, bro. Like,
so I like a little bit. I like it here a little bit more.
Yeah, like Russell Wilson's in the pocket all day now. So
super strong arm.
And not to say that Kyler Murray's not going to have a good career. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to have a really, really good career.
I didn't get how he falls to 15 with quarterback needy teams on the board when the proof's in the pudding. Watch the film. It was a different style of offense than what Urban Meyer usually runs out there, and he threw 50 touchdowns.
I'll say this. I think Dwayne Haskins has a little bit of Pat Mahomes in him. Pat Mahomes is a super freak, so he's not there.
Yeah, I think Mahomes is a better athlete.
And better athlete overall.
Yeah.
But
just that flick of the wrist.
Yeah, and just like
throws
the
a pretty
size,
ball.
Yeah.
The ball looks nice coming out Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah,
like
it does,
just looks
man.
It's a nice long deep ball.
You know what's a good comparison for Dwayne Haskins? He probably doesn't have a big as arm as this guy, but this is a very good comparison in my opinion. Dwayne Haskins is Dante Culpepper. He doesn't have Culpepper had a
freaking bazooka.
Had a bazooka, right?
Yeah, a bazooka.
But Dwayne Haskins is Dante Culpepper with a little less arm strength.
And not 6'6", 200.
Well, what's Haskins like? What?
Yeah,
6'5"?
Haskins is a big boy
He's
too.
a big
though.
boy
Yeah,
too.
I guess. Yeah.
So I think that's a good comparison. And
Couldn't Culpepper move around a little bit in the beginning?
Culpepper could definitely move.
Yeah. Haskins can't move.
He can't. He's not gonna.
He can't run.
He can't run.
He's not rolling out and doing any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
so
that's a good comparison. Culpepper,
I loved Culpepper.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, like that 3-year stretch of Dante Culpepper when he was like unstoppable with Moss and the last year of Carter and stuff, Dante Culpepper was a monster, a problem. He almost won the MVP that one year if Peyton Manning hadn't have broken the touchdown record.
Yeah,
that year,
Dante Culpepper was in our division. We saw Dante Culpepper all the time.
All the time.
Dante Culpepper was nice.
Problem.
Yes.
I remember
Yes, get your roll on. Dante was nice.
Dante is a big boy too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my Dwayne Haskins comparison. So I would say Dwayne Haskins has a better career.
Would you have taken him number 1 over Kyler Murray?
I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be a better quarterback. So yeah, I would have.
All right.
Kyler Murray might be really nasty though. We'll see.
Kyler Murray's way more probably has a higher ceiling, but a lower floor. Whereas Dwayne Haskins has a higher floor. And he still has a pretty high ceiling too. Like I don't think Haskins is gonna suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whereas Murray, there's a chance it just might not work out.
Yeah,
you know what I
there
mean?
is a chance
If
at
you
that.
look at if Haskins doesn't gonna work out, you're gonna be like, man, what happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas with Murray, it's like,
I can see how that didn't.
Maybe this wouldn't have worked out. Maybe this guy's like 5'4".
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Man, good to be back in
Yeah.
here, my G.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming through.
Absolutely.
We're back
Yeah.
weekly. I'm gonna start doing hopefully a bunch of different stuff. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna do it. For Nick the Quick, I am your host, Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, iTunes. You know the deal, man. No Ketchup Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. Listen up.
Let's get it.
Damn, Dante.